you did your fair share of fighting and stunts, and what kind of research and training did you do for Adam?
I don't know. When you're playing a vampire, I think you need to do just as much anti-research as research, because what we know about vampires is kind of in our blood. I grew up with Christopher Lee, you know, Christopher. Before that, there's Bram Stoker. So you ask anyone in the street, vampires, they immediately, there's this image, and you owe a debt of gratitude towards that. I mean, that influences the writers, it influences the costume. So you're never going to entirely get away from that, and you need to have a wink, a nod to the great vampires of the past. And I think there's plenty of that in Adam. At the same time, I think what makes him different is that the politic side of him and his intellect, and that's what
he's
makes
a gentleman, though.
And he's a gentleman, well, yeah.
I mean, he is in some ways.
Well, that's right. He's not a vulgarian.
Yeah.
You know?
I had this image of him in the script. We talked about like him descending the stairs like Rhett Butler.
Yeah,
you know?
You had me at Rhett Butler.
Yeah,
basically. Like,
just classic.
But
Classic, elegant but vicious.
Exactly. And in terms of the training and stuff, one of the great advantages of being that high up on the blood chain is that you can, up until the final reel of the film, you can send in your minions to do the fighting.
Right.
So I did a lot of training at sitting comfortably in a nice big chair. And then there's a couple of very short, sharp fight sequences, and then the big one at the end on the train, which was very fun to do.
Yeah, it was fun. And speaking of fight sequences, you're known for some pretty immaculate, fascinating ones. And it seems like there's all kinds of different martial arts incorporated into this movie. What was that like? Do you like kung fu movies?
Yeah.
Thanks.
I don't like movies when people just talk.
Yeah.
No, I think the action, the fighting scenes is just extension for the drama. It's a most important rule I learned, and we just entertaining audience. It was very good that we're in 3D, because in 3D the fighting in 3D looks absolutely different, because the distance is crucial. Suddenly it's crucial, because the person with the axe 10 feet away from you and person with like 3 feet away from you, it's just different. It's a different thing. And it was first time I made a movie action movie in 3D world, and I really think it will be different. You will really feel that you're in danger.
I can't wait to see it. I haven't seen any of it in 3D yet, and I'm excited to see it. So, okay, here's a weird question for Ben.
Oh, God.
So if you're Abe, Van Helsing, I'm not sure which Van Helsing we're talking about.
Sure.
And Buffy, the Vampire Slayer, we're all in a fight.
Oh, great.
Who would win?
You know, I'm insulted you'd even ask.
I'm insulted whoever asked.
Abraham Lincoln, hands down.
Hands down. Heads off.
Man.
Yeah.
Heads off.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Heads off.
Heads off.
Down.
Amen.
First of all, you just have a reach that Buffy can't contend with.
He's got longer arms.
Longer arms.
Yeah.
Van Helsing is there. Everybody's going to get caught on something.
If he's the Bram Stoker Dracula Van Helsing, like the Anthony Hopkins, you're definitely killing him. And even if he's the Hugh Jackman
with his crossbow,
played out.
Fairy tale.
They were all great performances.
Yeah. But those aren't real characters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I existed and survived for a time. When you write, where do you find inspiration? How do you do it? Do you go to a coffee shop with your laptop? Do you?
I try not to.
You get
I spent a lot of years doing that.
Are you a coffee bean or a Starbucks writer?
Well, I'm a Starbucks fueled writer. I try to write every day. It's not easy, but you got to keep the water running through your pipes, otherwise they get rusty. I don't know.
But you must be a writer.
Yeah. The inspiration for this came from being on a book tour for my last book, for Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, and noticing that no matter where I was in the United States, no matter which bookstore I was in, they would have a Lincoln display in the front and a Vampire Books display in the front. And it got me thinking, this is a joke, like a cynical observation. Well, if you could combine those two, you really have something, so
close to Broadway.
Yeah, exactly. So I started to research the real Lincoln, And I said, oh my God, I fell in love with this genre superhero story that was his real life. And that's what got me excited about writing the book. And, you know, that and working with all you fine fellas.
And a friend of mine, he's a writer in Russia, and his wife, she likes to read like a very pulp fiction-y, like detective stories, but she's very ashamed that she liked this, and she found the way. She has a Leo Tolstoy cover, and she's putting it, and inside there's a detective.
That's
and
right.
she's reading in the subway. She's reading Tolstoy.
With me,
War and Peace. Yeah. But there's a.
With me, it's just that my book's inside Jonathan Franzen covers on the outside.
Yes, funny.
So, Rufus, what was the most memorable aspect of filming this movie for
Other
you?
than working with me, to be honest.
Yeah.
I can't, beyond that, I don't see anything else. I mean, that was it.
Yeah.
For me, there was so much fun. The most memorable aspect was a lesson that I don't think I'll forget, is that when you're wearing needle-sharp porcelain teeth, you can't actually bite people.
Yeah, sure.
Because no one took me aside to give me that chat. And the first time I bit anyone was poor Dominic Cooper. And I bit him, and afterwards I saw that one of my teeth was missing, and there was a very long search, and it was stuck in his head. It was like there. Because these things, so I realised that we had to cut just on, because if you do it all the way, you'll kill someone.
See, you're fully committed.
And once I discovered that, I had a whale of a time.
Yeah, you had it out for Dominic.
That was the secret for me. And I'm working with him.
Right. And there's so many different depictions of vampires. Why did you pick guys like Rufus to do this one?
Yeah, why did you make
this genre?
What influenced you to...
why aren't your vampires
Apart from
sexier?
just availability.
Right, why don't they glisten in the sun?
Honest.
They're honest.
Yeah, honest. Like what was important in this movie, that Abraham Lincoln has to be honest and Adam has to be honest.
But they're real, and that's what's scary about them. Well, here's one. Here's one for you, Seth.
Oh yeah, right on top of your head.
Right here.
Yeah.
Would you rather deal with a vampire or a zombie infestation, and why?
Zombie infestation, easy.
Yeah?
Easy. Yeah, because zombies, you put a zombie can't figure out a doorknob. You know, they're perplexed.
Stupid.
But they're stupid and they're single-minded and they can't talk and they can't reason. Vampires are just as smart as you and I and much more powerful, and they can reason and they can collaborate.
And open doors. And they can open doors.
Yes. And I tell you what, writing for vampires much more fun than writing for zombies. Okay, so Ben.
Yeah, off the top of your head.
In the event, let's say we did have a vampire invasion in that era, what would be your go-to weapon? Yeah.
An axe. Are you kidding?
Are you kidding?
You don't have to reload it.
Yeah.
You can make it look pretty when you spin it.
Yep.
And boy, do you.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, you really do.
And few proclamations, probably, yeah?
So what?
Few proclamations, like Emancipation Proclamation.
Well, those are your weapons too. Yeah.
Oh, we got
Axes and proclamations. Scary.
Axes and quill pens.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, geez, Timur.
Yeah.
Take us home.
Okay, it's been exciting to hear all your questions about the upcoming films. Thank you for taking part and tuning in. Take care.
Thanks, guys.